Hello, hello, hello. And we are live. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to those of you around the world. Thank you for joining me tonight and welcome into the Dragon Den. My name is Digital Dragon, aka Luke, and I thank you for being here with me this evening. I hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. And, we're just going to try and chill out a little bit today, kind of relax and decompress just a smidge before I get back into packing, trying to figure out what I need to take with me to MRRF and just freak out over that for the next 2 days before I hit the road. And in which case, it doesn't matter. It's just driving to MRRF. So I hope everybody's doing well today. We really don't have a big stream like we have in the past with all of our builds. Our last two builds are doing well. We've got Fey Dragon, which is our Voron 2.4 that we built using our printed forward parts that we won at Rocky Mountain Rep Rat Fest. This one will be going with us to Midwest Rip Rat Fest. And then we also have Death Dragon, and this is the 0G. It's a beta frame, so it's a fully self-sourced frame, cut, drilled, and blind jointed together, following their guides. And I was part of the beta program for this one, so it should be coming out soon. That printer will also be going with me to Midwest Rep Rat Fest. We have a Prusa Mini over here. This one is mine, but one just like it will be going with me as well for Westery 1. We did repair that one for her on this stream a little while back. So those three printers will definitely be going with me to Midwest Rep Rat Fest here on Thursday. I've got two others that I want to take with me, provided I feel I can get them packed in the car safely and won't damage, especially the big boys of the show. I don't want anything damaged in transit. So if I can get them in there and keep everything safe, they will go in the car with me as well, and they will be heading out. My good friend Evil Diesel will be traveling with me this year. I've been to the show the last 2 years by myself, but Evil Diesel will be traveling with me, and he has been building a Death Racer as well as building up my Death Racer because I've been working on getting, the printer builds done and some of the more larger things for the booth to be able to be done and take with us. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Other than that, there's a couple of things that I can work on right now that are small little side projects, and I'm debating. So as you all know, I have printed out and built a couple of helmets. So this is my Warhammer 40,000 Chaplain's helmet. This is in a Polymaker bronze for the base helmet, a Zyeltech Cobalt PLA for the blue, and this is silk chrome for the chrome accents on this. Hey, Subsector. And there was a part of me that wanted to take this to MRRF. I am so afraid that I will be away from the table and this will get up and grow legs that I don't think this will go to MRRF with me, or at least not until I get another one made. Because I really wanted to show this one off at the local gaming store here in town, because we do have a bunch of Warhammer 40,000 people here at the gaming store in town. So I really want to show this off there first before I take it anywhere. So this may go with me to ERF, the East Coast Rep Rap Fest. Now, Free Heathen made the comment of, well, take your Blood Angels helmet. So this is a little more, I'll say a subdued design. It's Polymaker metallic red with black for all the inserts so far. We're going to go ahead and put on the ear cups. I have not put the eye visors in any of these yet, and I doubt if I'll get them done before the show. But these may go. Hey, Britt, how are you doing? Hey, Subsector, thank you for coming in. So I may take this one. It's not that hard of a print. There's not a lot as far as the accessories and stuff to print for this one. So I think I may just take this one and have it sit on top of one of the printers, just as a showpiece to kind of show people what you can do with larger printers. So how are you ladies doing this evening? Hope everything's going well. And I'm glad that you guys are here, because I do want, one of the things I'm going to be asking everybody as they start rolling in tonight is, what should I be prepared to take with me to the show? Right? I'm taking printers. I'm assuming, I need to take my, my hex drivers, some spare screws. I'm pretty sure I can just procure some filament while I'm there, so I don't need to take a ton of filament, because I'll probably procure filament, bring it back with me. But I'm just trying to think what I may need to take with me in case something goes wrong and I need to fix or repair a printer out there. So if you guys have any suggestions. The other thing is we will be taking, besides just printers, we are going to take Death Racers. So we built the Gen 1 Death Racers, and not the Pro model that has the souped up motors, but the standard motor models. And I had mine, for the most part, printed and ready to go, or at least the rolling chassis. And Evil Diesel put mine together while he was putting his together, because it was easy to just do them side by side, do the operations at the same time. And hey, Zombie, how's it going? What is MRRF? Midwest Rep Rap Festival. It is a 3D printer community get-together. Actually, it's not just 3D printer. We do have people out there with CNCs, lasers. There was somebody there with a pick and place machine for doing circuit boards the last year. And we will be having battle racers, not death racers, but Prentice Badley PB, Prentice Badley battle racers. And I believe they're also going to have the top fuel dragsters there as well. Yeah, they are death racers. By end of it, I mean, it's kind of the last man standing. It's kind of like BattleBot and Demolition Derby smashed together. It's great. Um, yeah, yeah, we can't call them death racers because as soon as you hear death, it's like boom, no, nobody's going to insure it. It's like, look what it is. It's Rock'em Sock'em Robots on RC basis. Like, whatever. I get the insurance thing. Everybody freaks out. But yeah, so we've got those ready to go. I've printed a bunch of things. Yeah, the church say death racers. Yeah, yeah. I saw I had shirts and like flyers or cards and stuff. I don't know what those are for. If they're like for the participants or if they're for everybody or if that's the MRRF shirt this year. I have no idea. So as soon as you say they're death racers, nobody's going to insure it just because of the word death. But if you can get them to listen to understand what it is, then they have to have insurance for it because it's at a public venue. You have to have insurance for the event. So I'm to the point where I'm thinking I'm going to say I've got the prints that I've got. That's it. I can print some more during the show, but I'm not going to kill myself anymore to print stuff for this show. I'm trying to reduce the amount of stress I'm putting on myself over this particular show, being the first show I'm going to have a table at, because I know it's not going to be perfect. So I would have to, make sure I have a pad of paper with me and start writing down notes of everything that, can go better next time around. But I have various, like coasters printed. I've got a bunch of the print in place foldable tweezers printed. I do need to hit these with a heat gun before I throw them in the container to take with me. Like I said, I will probably take this helmet just as a display piece for the table. Yeah. And then some of you might know that Westery was working on some maker coins for when she comes out. She sent it over to me to see if I could get them to print out. And I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? So this one, the paw's open and the Westery is embossed. And then the other one is the Westery is open through and the paw is embossed. But she was getting some weird surface finishes, and I don't know if it was a slicer issue or just a printer issue, but this came off the Mark IV, and I'm printing some more out on the Mark IV, as well as a set out on my Prusa Mini, and we may have those files sliced on her Prusa Mini that I'm going to take with me. And I'll set her Prusa Mini up, printing them out for her so that when she gets there, she'll see her printer actually printing and doing some stuff. Yeah, I haven't made a maker coin or anything like that yet. In fact, the couple of things that I do have signage-wise is just going to be, like one that's got my, my social media stuff, and then the ones for the two sponsored builds that I'm bringing. So Death Dragon. So this is the 0G Mercury 1 that we just did, and then the one before that, which would be like Fey Dragon. This is the Boron 2.4 that we built with the PIF parts we got from Rocky Mountain Rep Rat Fest. So my wife picked up some of the like the plastic things that you can just slip these in and they sit on the table. So I'll have these sitting next to the printers so that people can see, what's kind of some of the specs if I'm not there to answer any questions immediately. And it may also be that the 0G may spend some time over at KB3D's booth, because Chris was asking me if I had a printer that I wanted to put over at his booth. So depending on what all I bring with me, and like I said, however many printers I can get in the car safely, one of them may go over to his booth. And I'm going to try and sit over by his booth so it'll be easier for me to step across and answer questions if people have questions on it. But that is some of the stuff that we were talking about is I think me and Evil Diesel both are going to rebuild our battle racers for Earth. Like he just got them both moving around yesterday. I have yet to get behind the controls of mine, so that's going to be a blast when I do. But we will most likely rebuild them, and I'm hoping to have some branding done in time for the East Coast Rep Rat Fest, so that we will have some branding on my Death Racer, a little bit more on the table, things like that. He did remind me of like, hey, do you have your Polymaker side panels? Because I just had blank side panels for mine. So I had to go and print off some Polymaker side panels. I know I need at least one on them. And so this is atomic filament carbon fiber PET G stone blue and Polymaker black PET G. And the top surface finish of this is a little wonky, and I think it's just I needed at least another upper layer because I can see the grid pattern underneath it. So I think I just needed another layer for the top surface to be a little bit better. And I don't know why this is so pronounced of an angle there. That's just really weird. But it's only connected with one screw. That's nice. 2 sleeps. Yep. 2 eye rests and a wake up. I know, Liz. That's why I think I've hit the point where I'm like, nope, no more stressing. Whatever's printed's printed, and we'll be going with that. Right now, I'm actually, the stuff that's going right now on the printers is actually Westery One's coins, because I was trying to test those out for her. But here's one. And this had Mia's paw embossed. And then the other one is the paw is open and the Westery One's embossed. But these were printed on my Mark IV, and I'm going to do a set of 9 of each of these. And then I've got some going on the Prusa Mini as well. And from the way these are looking, they're going to come out, I will say, the same standard Prusa quality that we just saw. And I've already got those files sliced on the drive that goes with her Prusa Mini that I'm taking to the show so she can pick it up. So yeah, we'll. Oh, yeah, you leave for the airport at 4 a.m. Ew. Yeah, you might just stay up, do the show, or do zombie show, and then just head over to the airport, huh? I, it was one of those things that I know she wanted some coins, so I figured, okay, I'm going to slice it for my printer anyhow, and we're running the same exact setup now on those two Prusa Minis, so I just went ahead and dropped it to um, on her drive as well, so it would be ready for her, and she has some coins. Now the other thing that I printed, hey Royal Nomi, how are you doing? How are you doing this evening? Glad you came in. So one of the other things that I printed, um, and when I say printed, I mean literally printed, because, well, I have no quote unquote running gear. I'll have to stand back for this, but we do have a dragster. I do have the servo installed and the steering is working. Well, working manually moving it because I have no electronics in it. This is Polymaker dark blue. This one panel is not installed because I'm going to have to fish wires through it. But we did just finish the wheels and the tires, which was, let me tell you, these tires are a blast to install. Over what I wound up realizing was I had already put the hubs on, and there's no way you're getting those tires over the wheels with the hubs on. You have to take the hubs off because it's the only way that inner wheel is going to flex anything to let that to let the TPU wheels get over. And yes, that is fuzzy skin outer edge on the print. And this wheel that I'm showing you right now, it's actually missing like the last two layers on the side because we took 3 successive power hits today. And luckily it was that close to being done because it's like a 10.5 hour print for the big wheels. So yeah, and I'm thinking, there's no, I don't have the Polymaker side panels on this because once again, this will not be moving under its own power at the show because I have not ordered I haven't even bothered to order the motor or the controller or anything like that for it yet because I'm still waiting on the stuff from AliExpress. So, and I knew that wasn't going to get here in time before the show. So this may make it out to ERF, but it will not be, if it goes to MRRF, it's going to be a static display. So you're going to fuzzy skin the Polymaker balls. I'm not sure if I want to ask, Zombie. I'm really not sure if I want to ask. But yeah, this dragster kind of looks badass. But my thought was on the panels here, I'm thinking rather than, I wasn't going to just put the Polymaker on it, but what I'm thinking of is actually taking stickers from the show and putting stickers all over it from the show as kind of like, race sponsors. So that's what I was thinking for this because, I mean, I could always reprint the body. The body's not really that long of a print or that hard of a print. So it's fairly easy to redo the body for the next show. So you would just have the body with all the stickers from each show. So that's what I'm kind of thinking for this. And I was a little worried with the cockpit because two of the front two magnets kind of sit proud, but it actually, I think it was designed that way because it lines up perfectly with the top. Like I said, this panel isn't screwed on because the servo is like ends right here, so I need to do a servo extension at least, and I'll have probably radios, and the battery will go right here in the cockpit area, and then the motor will be back here. So, but yeah, that's my top fuel dragster. So, thanks, Britt. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You're printing TPU balls. Okay, so are you just trying to do like bouncy balls, or are you basically looking like the basketball that was there was a basketball on display for Rapid TCT, if I remember right, wasn't it? That somebody had done. Depends, Liz, do you have everything ready, or are you starting to freak out about everything that still needs to be done? I'm going to try and sit this on the ground out of the way. Out of the way in the Dragon Den right now is kind of an interesting concept. Okay, so like baseball. Oh, great. So about good, hand size so that little kids can take them and throw them at people. That'll work. They can throw them at their siblings. Like I said, while we were sitting here chatting, it's going to be a chat and chill stream. Just because I'm just trying to, quite honestly, I'm trying to decompress so I don't get myself completely over the top worked up about everything I need to pack, because I haven't started packing anything. I'm going to do laundry tomorrow to start packing that part. I do have a like a rolling tote that I've got set up for, or set out, that I'm going to start packing stuff in. I'm just trying to really figure out what I need to pack as far as clothes are packed, carry on ready, and you're baking cookies. Awesome. Yeah, cookies are great. But yeah, I'm the plan is to take everything in. I think I had to shake this up, right? Is to take as much as I can in the rolling bin, because that way, if it's in the back of the truck and it's in the rolling bin, it stands no chance of getting wet, right? So that's my biggest thing. Is I do have a tonneau cover for the truck, but water does still get in. I'm trying to think. All right, my gloop masters, do we have to shake this up? I prefer long bread. Shortbread cookies, awesome. It doesn't say anything, but I will give it a little bit of a shake. Yeah. Shake it, let it sit to let some of the bubbles go down and stuff like that, and then we'll throw it on there and use it. The other thing that I did was I grabbed some of the various little, I'll say, prints that I had sitting around, like, you know, things like Black Noir and stuff. So I've got various ones of, you know, things like this sitting around that I went ahead and uh, just tossed in the box to take with me, that can be added to the table. And my wife's already said, you know, if they disappear, great. So, well, thanks, Shenanigans. This is the Mark 8 helmet, I believe it is, in Blood Angels livery for Free the Heathen. You know, it is the Blood Angels. The hood scoop's the same color, but the vented grills, and I did do the vented grills, not the solid grills, are in Prusament Galaxy Black. And you've got the cheek, the cheek, and the I'll say the chin stuff. You've got this. There'll be a cap that goes in here that I was going to do with the chrome. And I want to say there's a soul patch as well that goes in here that I may do in the chrome just to offset it, chrome or black. And then I would add, you know, some lens material down the road. And it is a fully wearable helmet once I take my glasses off. So, you know, it is fully wearable. And then my plan is I was trying to print the Heavy Mandalorian helmet, and that failed twice on me. I think I know what the problem was a mixture of heat and retract distance that was causing a jam, like way late, like halfway through the print of a 4-day print, which sucks. So I'll be reworking on that here in the future. And yes, this is Warhammer 40,000. Solar, you kind of came in a little bit late. So this is the one that I started with. This is my Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine Chaplain's helmet. So this is Polymaker bronze PLA with Zyotech cobalt blue for some of the accents, with Polymaker silk chrome for all the chrome accents. So, and I will tell you, if you look at this close enough, you'll see a lot of Z wobble and banding there. If I grab the helmet from downstairs, so I figured out what that problem was, and I solved that, and that's what kills me. Give me 1 second. Let me grab that other helmet, and I'll show you. So on this helmet, you'll see I have some BFAs, but I don't have that banding. Well, I don't have that banding issue that we were seeing in the other print. Now, what I do have is, well, 2 helmet fares at the same exact height. So my plan is I'm going to go ahead and just print a top piece. I have figured out, I measured the second one, and I'm going to try and print just the top piece, put them together and see if it lines up or pretty well. The problem is some of these details, like right here, and of course on the earpieces, you're going to see that line going all the way around, I have a feeling. I prefer to do all of my helmets printed in a single piece to limit that type of stuff. But yeah, you can see there's no, my Z wobble is gone. And this is being printed on a 0G, non-enclosed, because it's the based on the Ender 5 Plus. So that build plate is 370 by 370 by 420, I believe it is. So I'm able to print full-size helmets with no problem on that printer. So, excuse me. Hey, Timor, how are you doing? Glad you can make it in. So we're just going to work on glooping a couple of things on our helmet here. Probably do this like over the silicone, but you know, what the heck? It's a workbench. It's a workbench. We're just going to put our earpieces on. So this is the Polymaker Metallic Red PLA Pro. And then the black here is Prusament Galaxy Black. So it's kind of got the shine and sparkle to it. And then we're just going to clamp it. Clamp it. Hope I didn't break it. And I did. Well, it's a good thing I've got glute because I just squeezed my helmet enough and broke it. Right on the layer line. I guess that's the next thing we'll be glooping is that, wow. Well, that sucked. That's what I get for just giving it the Ugga Duggas. Yeah, I really, really like the Polymaker Metallic Red and Metallic Blues. I am a blue's my favorite color, right? So if you get me a nice blue like that Xyltech Cobalt or the Polymaker, the dark blue, well heck, the blue, the dark blue, the metallic blue or metallic dark blue, sparkle dark blue. I mean, all of those were just amazing blue color palettes. Um, yeah, we'll work on that. We'll put a little bit in from the inside. Try and gloop it that way. Be even easier if this was ABS because I could just acetone weld it. Put a little bit of pressure on it. Royal Nomi, how are you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Yep, we're going to 3D gloop some stuff. And yeah, like I said, this is a really pretty color. The bronze was really pretty as well. Oi. All right, I thought I was hearing something. I had a layer shift down there. We'll have to work some more on that seam a little bit. We got the ears put on there. Let's go ahead and put Black Noir up on his pedestal while we got him out here. I have not painted any of my helmets. They are straight PLA. Somewhere down the road, I may be looking at painting some and learning that skill. But I have not painted any at this point. Yeah, that is just the color of the filament. That is, like I said, the Polymaker metallic red. Like Polymaker metallic red. In fact, got some of it, I believe, right down here. Yeah. That's the PLA Pro metallic red. And speaking of some more, here's another one for you. This one will have the tubes as well. It'll have studs across the top. And this, believe it or not, is 3 different pieces. So the front mask is one piece, the lower body is a piece, and then the parts that come up over the ear cups would be a third piece. Yeah, these are my Warhammer helmets that I am working on. And great timing. I do have an affiliate link to Polymaker. If you'd like to support my channel and you need filament food, or excuse me, printer chow filament, please go ahead and use my affiliate link. I don't have a code or anything at this point, but at least I do have an affiliate link. Not sure what kind of rate I get on it, but there is one. Okay, and my other set of 4 coins for Westery finished over here. And we'll take a look at those. Again, there's the I like how the Prusa's kind of give it's almost like a slight checkerboarding effect on the top layers. But this is Westry's little dog Mia, her Yorkie poo. That is actually Mia's paw print that Ian Douglas used and cleaned up and made an image for her so she could add them to coins and merch and stuff. So I got a few coins I'm printing for Westry, so she'll have some things there for the show because she's going to drive in just for Saturday. So we'll get to see her on Saturday for those of you that are going to the show. Yeah. And then when we come back from the show, I will be working on a Voron Trident build, which is everything in this parts box here. Well, almost everything. That's not Trident. And our color scheme for this one, if I can, I guess we can do it this way, is going to be, this is Sparta 3D, Sparkle Fluorescent Red, and Sparta 3D Sparkle Old Copper. So it's going to be a copper and red color scheme for this next printer build. Frame is black. And the frame's been built. The main cube part of the frame's been built. And we will start this build once I get back from MRRF. I think I have everything printed and ready to go except for the actual tool head. I need to print out the parts for TAP and the stealth burner. So that build is going to be fairly similar to the 2.4 build that we have sitting over here, as it will have a LDO motors kit. It will be running a Big Tree Tech Octopus 1.1 board, UTC, Big Tree Tech EBB SB2209 toolhead board. So we will be running CAN bus on the Trident as well. And the real difference between them is this is a flying gantry, meaning the gantry moves up and down on 10 millimeter belts on all four corners and the bed's fixed. And then on the Trident, it's more like this setup. It's the same exact gantry, except it's fixed gantry at a fixed height, and the bed moves up and down on triple independent lead screws. So yeah, I know the 2240 is available. I don't see any reason for it. Like, the selling points aren't there for me because I don't chase speed at all costs. I'm more of, print quality and making sure that the prints I do come off the build plate. If I'm going fast and I'm tossing, 2 out of every 3 build plates because of a skip or something came loose and jack the plate up, like this, then what's the point? Because I've wasted time, so I'd much rather just go through and run it a little bit slower and get good solid prints out of it. And that setup is tried and true for me now, because I'm running the SB2209 on the 2.4, so that gives me kind of a starting point for some of the settings when I go to Clipper, I can just kind of bring them over. That was another reason why I went with some of the decisions I did for the 0G build, because yes, I know that the um, sorry, brain fart there. I know that the um, Big Tree Tech Manta M8P board. So on the Ender 5 Plus downstairs, when I convert it to a 0G, it's running the Manta M8P version 1 board, which does not support CAN bus on the board. The one running behind me is a 1.1 board, which does support CAN bus on the controller board. So I wouldn't have had to use a UTC. However, I did go ahead and do a UTC because I could basically lift and shift all of my settings and not have to worry about any changes between those two printers, and not think, if I've got similar printers, like I've got 3 different Prusa Mark IIIs, if they were all, running different, uh, different hot ends and different boards and everything, it becomes a maintenance nightmare, because now I have to really stop and think which printer I'm looking at. And I've already had enough times where I've got 4 printer windows going and I cancel the print on the wrong one and waste time that way too. So just keeping the configs the same to me was worth the extra little spend there. The A and B motors. So originally, Jason at LDO Motors sent me Trident motors that were going to go in the 0G. They wouldn't work because they're too short. So I bought a 2.4, a Boron 2.4 motor kit, and that's what's running in here. So I had the Trident integrated lead screws for the Z, and so for the rest of that, I bought the whatchamacallits, the other LDO motor kit, the V12 high temp motor kits. So this does have the 0.9 motors for the AB, and then the high temp version of the, was it NEMA 14 pancake stepper motor for the hot end. So yeah, like I said, it'll be basically the same setup that I'm running in the other one. And then the only thing I didn't have for that build, other than the aforementioned parts that I didn't have printed, was a bed. And KB3D is bringing the bed system for me. So I just ordered it today, and he's going to bring it to the show, so I don't have to wait on shipping or have it shipped here. And or my wife may wind up having to take off for Colorado again here soon, so I didn't want stuff being shipped here when I was out of town. So I will pick that up at the show, but that'll be a Mandala Roseworks bed, no magnets, just the plain bed, a magnetic sheet, the KB3D dual-sided textured bed, and a Canovo heater pad. So, hey Darth Gollum, how are you doing? Thank you for joining in this evening. We're just kind of chatting and talking about, I guess, some final steps. So now that there's a bunch of people here, I do want to reach out and pick everyone's brain. So this will be the first show that I'm going to where I'm bringing printers and stuff, and I'm not just going and showing up, hanging out, and walking around. So are there things that I need to remember to bring? I know I need to bring your tools in case you have to do repairs. Um, I'm assuming some screws. I will probably bring very few screws, just primarily the screws for the death racers and stuff. I went out and bought an extension cord and a surge strip specifically to be used for shows because my plan is I'm going to pack a bin and then that bin's going to be used whenever I go to a show, whether it's Rocky Mountain Rep Rat Fest, MRRF, our local cons here, because we're talking about doing the one here in Sanford where I live, but also possibly going out and trying to do something at one of the cons that goes on in Raleigh, North Carolina. Town mud butt. Yeah, that portable AC unit. Yeah. So what I have, my wife's got. She went and picked up those. I don't know, those little plastic things that you can put inserts into that sit on a table. So I've got all of my socials listed here. I haven't like 3D printed anything, partly because I'm trying to work on some branding right now. So once I get branding done, I may be in a better position for Earth to do something that's more branded, that's a 3D print that I can put out, or even potentially, I've got a bunch of metal business cards that I'm thinking what I want to do is laser etch on the X Tools D1 um, laser that we have. Yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking. Humbler John was, do I try and do a link tree or um, like a QR code, tiny URL type thing? Your chauffeur's late. Uh oh, you better be bringing dinner with him then. Yeah, I want to say I brought a 100-foot contractor grade extension cord, so it's like 14 gauge, and then a, a contractor grade as well surge protector. So everything I have should be able to support a 20 amp circuit. So if I needed to provide power to others, I can, or if I needed to power up multiple printers, I should be able to. The biggest thing I'm going to have is logging into them. I think I'm going to have to tether to my phone and print them, print stuff off my phone with the clipper. Got hot in the shop. Yeah, it gets that way. Are you in down in Texas, Humbler John? You mentioned that. I think I think I have my old router still. I don't think I did anything with the old router when I upgraded it. So I wonder if I can just bring that and set that up because I don't need an internet connection. I just need like a LAN for everything to work, and it would be wireless because I'm obviously not going to wire everything up because some of my stuff is like using Pi zeros and stuff. So wired via LAN is probably not a bad idea either. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like I've got a 14 by 24-foot shed in my backyard, and I had two 20 amp circuits run to it in case I wanted to put like a mini split out there. and we still have it, but we do have it, I'll say about 3/4 away insulated. I still need to finish insulating the roof of it. But yeah, on hot days when the sun's beating down on it, it does get a little warm in there. So, but we've got windows that we can open up and vents and fans and stuff that we use. But coming another, like supposedly this whole week, we're like, it's supposed to rain 2 days straight. So yeah, that's what I was thinking, is get it set up before I leave and get all the printers talking to it before I leave, because you know, kind of hard to SSH into something that's just Wi-Fi only. You know, like so. Yeah, once it's 90 plus, I'm out. Yeah, yeah, you're better than I. Once it's about 80, I'm out. But yeah, we've been sitting here at like 80, upper 80s, like 86 degrees at 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go out and mow yard now where the sun's down, and exactly. Well, you have to at that temperature though. You may have to deal with humidity issues, but it was interesting. I was showing everybody. So the ambient in this room right now is 59% humidity. Well, if I can get it to go, 60% humidity, right? When I had this cooking the other day doing prints, I was able to get it down to 20. What was it, like 20 something percent humidity in this chamber, and I still need to get I still want to put a dedicated chamber thermistor in there just to figure out how hot that chamber's getting. Uh, I want to do that for that one and the Boron 2.4. I know my V0, I haven't put any additional like foam tape around the panels. It's just, it leaks like a sieve, but I'll get upper 30C chamber temps on that printer while I'm printing. So I'm just curious to see what kind of chamber temps I get on the 2.4 and the 0G. You're waiting for summer to go away already? Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you there. So one of the things that I dislike about printing like multi-part helmets like this is, you see there's gapping in the front, and there's some gapping kind of right here where this nose piece meets. And it's really hard to try and get those gaps out without causing other gaps. And part of that is because, or I say that, and then as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, it just falls right into place because, thanks guys, stream's awesome. But whenever you print helmets in multiple parts like that, the parts cool at different rates, right? Especially, like one may be printing all day long, and maybe it's 75 degrees in the room that it's printing it, right? And then the other one's printing overnight and it drops down to 65. It's going to have a completely different temperature zone throughout the print and the way it cools off. And there's a little consistency there. So you have different shrinkage and, I'll say, warpage rates, even with PLA, because of that way that it cools down. So then trying to fit them together, even if they're all printed on the same exact printer, you get those little inconsistencies. And Westery One saw that a lot as she was doing her Captain America shield, right? Where everything really needs to line up just perfectly. But if you've got stuff, like I said, that's printing at a concave curve, and then it's, depending on which angle you print at, depends on, like if you're printing it up and it's coming up in an angle like this versus something that's sitting down supported underneath that's printing in a dome shape, you're going to have different edges when you go to join things together. And so that's what she's run into. Winter is great, low humidity and great printer temps unless you print ABS. Well, and so even here, I still get pretty decent. I'm still in the 40s or 50s humidity wise in North Carolina in the wintertime. Now, where I came from, which was Colorado, I mean, we had to run humidifiers. Otherwise, you'd shock yourself every time you walked across the floor. Heaven forbid you wear socks. God, you wore socks on carpet, you were dead by the time you got, across the house. But, it's one of those things, humidity, I don't know, it all affects prints, and the more consistent your environment is when you print the multi-parts for a print, the easier it's going to be to fit them, but you're still going to have to do post-processing, some sanding, if you want to try and get those joints really well, or do a lot of filler. That's why I kind of, to me, I like showing the layer lines off on these, but one day I know I'm going to get talked into, well, you should paint that. And if I'm going to paint it, then I'm going to work on filling it and sanding it and getting rid of some of the layer lines. So as many of the layer lines that I can get rid of as part of the print, whether that means printing at a 0.2 or a 0.16 or a 0.1 layer height, to get rid of those layer lines as much as possible, reduces the amount of post-processing you're going to have to deal with on these prints when you're doing them. And then PLA doesn't sand all that great. ABS sands a lot better. Zombie, what's probably one of the best things to sand? And I haven't tried the cosplay yet, but I wonder if the cosplay is one of the better PLAs for sanding because it was literally designed to be more sandable. I want to see if our resident polymaker guru has some knowledge he can drop on us there. And then the other thing, I've been printing a lot of helmets, but I'm thinking for Halloween, because my wife always wants us to dress up, I'm seriously thinking about printing a full armor set from Galactic Armory. I'm just trying to decide which of the armor sets from we'll say the latest Mandalorian season I will wind up printing out full armor set for. And know me, that means I will probably be trying to bug you in BC on, sizing tips and stuff like that. And I hope I didn't lose everybody. I'm not seeing any drop frames, but it does seem kind of quiet. Hope we're doing good. While we're here, let me just take a quick gander and see who I've got on here. I see Creatix Brit, Darth Gollum, Dropsnet, Humbler John, K2 Kevin, Katia. Hey, KB3D Chris is here. We were talking about you earlier. Pez Liz, Pink 3DP, Steve 3D, Timor, and Zombie. Yeah, I just wanted to take a look at who all's here and thank everybody for coming in tonight. I know I kind of get rambling sometimes and forget to keep going back and acknowledging everybody who's coming in. I also want to say shout out and thanks to 1977 All Out for the recent follow, as well as Muffin13 who followed me yesterday, which wasn't a streaming day. This is also the last stream day for the week. I do not plan on streaming from MRRF. Yeah, I don't think that the internet at MRRF, unless they did something to make it better, it's not going to be able to hold up to multiple people live streaming from the event. I may take some videos at the event and post those afterwards to like YouTube, but I doubt very seriously if I'll do any live streaming, and if I do, it'll probably be kind of a later in the day, or like on Sunday a little bit later as things start slowing down. There just won't be as much Wi-Fi traffic contention and stuff going on. Okay, Chris, drive safe. So I did give you the shout out earlier, Chris, with the fact that he helped me out so much on some of my other builds as far as getting me parts on time for my Underwire builds and so forth, and was a heavy sponsor of the 0G build that we will be bringing. I'm going to try and get my table close to him, close to KB3D's booth out at MRRF, so that I can potentially put the 0G machine over there at their booth, and then be close enough that I can walk over and answer any questions about it as people ask. I do have some signage to put up for it as well, Chris. And I also wanted to give you another big shout out as well, because I have just about everything I need material wise for the Voron Trident 300 build that we're going to start next week, except for as I mentioned, the bed and the heater for the bed and the build plate and stuff, and just place the order with Chris, and he's going to bring it to the show for me. He takes my money every year, so I figured it might as well be go ahead and take that money, and who knows, I'll probably wind up buying more stuff from him while I'm there. Start words on stream so Chris can't win. Yeah, that's probably something else I need to do after this show, is really work on the stream and getting some things like words on stream and other stuff. I mean, I've got the drop game. Just nobody tends to play it on here. I think people kind of forget that it's there, but I do have the drop game active. But I need to work on the stream and get some stuff going on the stream. And I am talking with somebody right now for some potential branding stuff. There you go, Darth Gollum. Looks like we have the birthday cake there still from the birthday stream, so I'll probably need to go and change that to a different one. Yeah, I'm sure it is, Zombie. I just need to work on getting that set up. Words on stream, get it set up. So yeah, we're doing good. Trying to get things set up. Stole that from Zach. Okay, gotcha. Like I said, we've got our helmets. Like I said, this one I still need to actually gloop the parts together, then start working on printing out all the accoutrement pieces to it. It will have the hoses, so good thing I bought plenty of hose material. And I'll be working on trying to get this one cleaned up and and built out to make it a little more presentable. Um, this one's pretty close to done. Like I said, um, a couple of smaller pieces that need to be printed out, accent pieces. I should be able to get those done relatively quickly, and I'll probably take this one to the show, so it can sit there on the table along with everything. Oh yeah, so my wife does is it Windows Ultimate Word games on her Windows Surface, and so she was doing those, and then I was doing the Mahjong, and now she keeps doing the Mahjong and then leaving me all of the hard and expert level word games to do, which is fun. And then the thing that's killing me with words though is, you'll put it in like 5 times and it won't take, and then somebody else will type in a word, that same word, and it counts it. There's something with the back end of words, and I think it's if you just have a lot of people trying to answer and throw words out there at the same time, it kind of bogs down. But hey, Dutch dude, how's it going? Glad to see you. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Dutch, I'm sorry. I decided I really didn't want to take the zero G, so I'm not going to take it to the show. It's just going to stay here. But yeah. So the zero G and the Voron 2.4 builds are going to MRRF. Um, you can't answer until the lock is completely done blinking. Okay. Uh, yeah, I'm just kidding, Dutch. It's going, and in fact, I did some. I printed off some signs, and my wife has some table signs that she picked up that we'll be able to just put like things like this up there that talks about the build. Um, and I've been talking with KB3D. He asked me if I had any printers that I wanted to put over on his table, so I'm going to try and get close to his table, and we may put the zero G over at his booth for part of the show, just to show it off since he was a pretty big sponsor of that build. Um, and then good news, I need to go and finish taking apart my D-Bot, which I scavenged a lot of parts for the zero G out of. And based on the parts that I have, I may be building another one of those, just doing it with a black frame, uh, based on V-slot extrusion. And I'll just buy the extra V-slot that I need to go ahead and put it together, and I'll do another one. Yeah, I mean that's where I learned about the zero G was MRRF last year, and talking to you at MRRF last year, dude. And that's what got me looking at the zero G. So I bought the Ender 5 and an Ender. So I got an Ender 5 Plus and an Ender 3 Max right after MRRF last year, and I was using them to start printing stuff for Toys for Tots. And then um, the Ender 5, the wheels were just going to crap. And I figured, okay, if I'm going to swap the wheels out, I might as well just go whole hog. And I did the Mercury on it. And I really didn't need to do the Hydra on it, but why not? So I did. So that one's, got the full one there. It's not an enclosed one, and I don't think I want to enclose it because that's really my big printer for big prints like my helmets and stuff. Doing the helmet prints. So, but yeah, I think I have enough extrusions the thing would be the enclosure pieces that I probably don't have the longer uprights to do. So I'd have to get those. Hey, Westery One, how are you doing? How you doing? So I got to show you something, Westery, since you're here now. Um, so I kind of did a thing. So these came off the Prusa Mark IV. You're going to sell your bamboo and AMS. Okay, you're going with the 0G and Tridrac. And then this one printed off of my Prusa Mini. So as you can see, that top layer came out pretty gorgeous too. And yes, I am purposely trying to shine the light on it so you can see the texture on it. Yeah, the bamboo is not as reliable for you. I mean, it's great for what it is. It's one of the closest, with the AMS, it's the closest thing that you've got to I'll say the appliance of just click and go. But I get it. Some 3D printers just aren't for people, and so yeah. So I've got a few more of these whipping off on the Prusas right now for you, Westery. And I don't know, the files are already loaded on the USB key for your Prusa Mini. So when I get to the show and get things set up on Friday, I may actually start running some more off there. Yeah, I want to say I just saw a video. Is it Mellow so Adam at Vector 3D just opened up did like a unboxing of a VZBot, I think 235 kit from Mellow. And I guess Mellow's the actual kit maker or kit provider for the VZBot now. So that'd be something interesting to look at. Well, she can't ride her horse to Murph because are you still picking up a horse or a donkey when you go up to Murph, Westery? Yeah. Yeah, if she rode the horse from Kentucky to Murph, um, we wouldn't be able to get her off the horse, and if we did, she'd never get back on it. Oh, okay, Westery. Nice. Um, so yeah, we've just been kind of chatting and chilling. I'm trying to stop forcing myself to print things and get things and just say, you know what, just it is what it is. Right now, I'll be I'll be doing laundry and packing that stuff tomorrow, as well as trying to pack a bin with bits and bobs and things that I may need because I need it in a watertight bin. Even though I got a tonneau cover for the back of the truck, I do know that water will get through it to some extent. So I just don't want it in boxes sitting down there where it could get uh, water on it. So I'm going to get that started packed tomorrow. Um, Evil Diesel's coming over tomorrow, so we can kind of game plan what Thursday morning is going to look like. Depending on if it's raining when he comes over tomorrow, we may try and take one or two of the big printers out to the car tomorrow night because it's calling for rain for the next 2-3 days. So Yeah. So yeah, we will have, we will have, I am bringing at a minimum, definitely 3 printers. We're bringing the 2.4, we're bringing the 0G Mercury 1. So these 2 printers here, we're going to bring a Prusa Mini so that Westery 1 can pick it up when she's there. Hey, Dusty Knuckles, thank you for the follow. Thank you for coming in and joining us. The next in line would probably be the Rook, which was the self-source Rook that I did on stream. And then potentially the Bugaboo. And then I may bring this helmet just as a static display. What else? What else? I've got various prints and stuff to lay out on the table. And like I said, we're going to bring 2 Death Racers. There are pictures of the Death Racers up on the Discord. Evil Diesel did put the pictures of his Death Racer and mine up on the Discord. I just printed off some new side panels for mine because, well, if I remember right, they have to have Polymaker on at least one side to be able to get the coupon for filament. So we'll get those on there. And then I will completely print and rebuild my Death Racer for Earth. I think I'm going to go with the new, what is that, the Mechanum design? Not the Hammerhead, not the Bolt, not the Killdozer, but the new one that Randy Reed, I think, came up with. I don't know. I just downloaded all the new files today. So, but yeah. And then for those of you that weren't here earlier, I do have all the parts printed. This panel's not secure because I will need to finish running servo wires. It's all printed, but the I don't have the motors or the electronics for it. So this is all the black parts. So all the frame parts and the wings were done in printed solid. It was one of their latest mixtapes, which is a black. The body panels are all in Polymaker dark blue, not the metallic, but just the dark blue. Right? The wheels, once again, are the printed solid mixtape, which is black. And the tires on here are the rear ones I made used fuzzy skin. But this is Pryline black TPU. And I cannot remember right now what the shore hardness is because it didn't say on the box. I actually have to look it up. But I think I got the Pryline off of Amazon, so you should be able to look at the shore hardness on there. So is it? Well, this is literally dark blue, not the metallic dark blue. Zombie. But it does look almost like it has a little bit of glitter. It's not like the metallic. Is it the same color? Okay. Not sure why they would have just renamed it, but yeah. And then our front wheels are still the Pryline TPU as well for the tires. But yeah, I mean, this thing looks badass. And what my thought was, I didn't do Polymaker panels for the side of this. I was kind of tinkering with the idea of cutting it out on like the Cricut and putting it on there. Maybe I'll print it. I'll print different sides. But what I was thinking of was taking all of the stickers that I grabbed from MRRF and just put stickers all over the body panels, kind of like it was a sponsored uh, race car or something. Was kind of what I was thinking, and then take it to Earth, and I could print out another set of body panels and put all the stickers on it from Earth, and just have the bodies kind of hanging up on the ceiling behind me. So that was one of my thoughts. But the nice thing is with the majority of it printed, I mean, if you want to change the color, just reprint things. And it's not a whole lot of plastic. It really isn't. Yeah. So the requirement is everything had to be 3D printed except for, of course, the motors, and like you have to have the metal hubs and stuff like that. If you try to do a printed hub onto, you just strip them out. So, um, yeah, and what I'd like to do, I still have the desire to, and I'm probably going to pull the trigger on the Ender 3 belt printer conversion. And if I do that, I think it's the 3dbeltprinter.com that they've got an Ender 3 90-degree belt printer, an Ender 3 45-degree belt printer, a full ground up, which is the Lynx 3D belt printer, I believe it is. And then they've got the new Ender 3 Core XY conversion kit that they sell. And Scott at Edge of 3D has built like all of them. And he also has some CR30s and stuff. So I'm really thinking about getting one of those belt printer conversion kits, building it here on the stream, and then after doing some builds, I will build. I will. I'll ask Scott because he's got the full frame and the full bodies as one-piece prints. So I would like to go and print those all as one piece rather than like the 5 pieces or 6 pieces that they are right now. They run on a 550. They're a give me one. Uh, Let me pull the bomb up real fast. I thought I had it up still, but I don't. Give me one second. I was like, where'd it go? Um, I know it's a 550, but it's a certain tooth gearing is what I'm looking for. So it's a 550 35 tooth. And so Evil Diesel had a couple of 550 motors, but they weren't 35 tooth. Um, Humbler John, I don't know how long the track will be. It depends on what's available at MRRF to do it safely. Um, so that's the thing is whenever we do the death racers, they set up kind of an arena outside, and then when we do the dragsters, same type of thing. We have to do it somewhere which has grass on both sides, and we can do it for safety stuff. Oh, that is awesome, Creatix Brit. Thank you for stopping in tonight. I really appreciate all the support that you provide to the channel and showing up and everything. I would really like to hear more about that NC Women in 3DP meetup. I think that is a really cool idea. And I know that, like, I know there's a bunch of 3D printing people around my area, but that's something I'd really like to try and do is try and get some type of a meetup going on in my local area. So I'd love to know some more about that. But have a great night. Be safe. Um, Travel safe. And we'll talk to you later. And you're not going to MRRF, but you are going to ERF. So I will definitely see you there. Nice. We haven't gotten into that in depth. It was really, we had the death racers, and then somebody asked, well, could we do a drag racer? And so Scott, Edge of 3D, designed a Top Fuel dragster for Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest. So we kind of added that in. So now you've got the Death Racer, which is kind of like Demolition Derby, Battle Bots, Rock'em Sock'em stuff. And then you've got the Drag Racers, which are head-to-head races. And watching them out at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest, oh, it was a hoot. And they can get up and move. They can get up and move. Oh yeah, and that's exactly what they're trying to get away from is people doing that. Like they want it to be fun, and they don't want it to be overly competitive. We're out there to have fun. A good portion of the people that are out there running them, they're running them for fun. If they win, yay. If they don't, yay. You know, I'm out there just to have fun with it. And, I just thought it was really cool and something cool to do. So I went ahead and built one. But same thing with, like I was building model RC planes. And I mean, there are people out there that are putting 35 grand into aerobatic and racing RC planes. And I'm like, 35 grand, you could buy a used airplane and actually go flying in it yourself for 35 grand. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, you're there to win, zombie, but are you? Or are you gonna pay it forward? Um, it's one of those things that if I was there and I won something at one of these events, I would probably pay it forward or put it on my either pay it forward to kind of like what happened at Rocky Mountain. Some of the kids that were there that enjoyed the event or something like that. But they might. Humbler John. I hadn't even thought about that. Um, but I actually have two things that like I have the tires I did were PLA center cores with kind of like the tire tread bands on them done in TPU. I believe I also have a set that I had um, uh, sliced up that would have been full TPU, like core wheel and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I think that would be like take forever. Um, you know what? Actually, give me 1 second and I will tell you. That's a good question. I've got the dragster rules right here. Dragster frame, body, wings, and tires must be entirely 3D printed. The wheelbase, front wheel to rear wheel, 980 millimeters, cannot be altered from the provided STL files. Motor must be a 540 or 550 size brushed motor. 550 is recommended. Max of a 3S 11.1 volt LiPo battery. The rear tire maximum diameter is 120 millimeters. Minimum width is 50. So there's two different types of rear wheels. You can go with the tall skinnies or the big ones like I did. I just thought the big ones looked cool. Can't remember, was Zombie, do you remember, because Denise and her husband won the dragster, were they running skinny or wide wheels? Yeah, skinny ones look better, or skinny ones perform better, wide ones look better. And that's just, I mean, how much mass are you trying to turn, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you have an exhibition class, electric power only, no internal combustion engines of any types allowed. And I think that's once again for insurance reasons. The car should remain 3D printed, but the tires are optional. So there is an exhibition class. However, that exhibition class doesn't compete. Um, it's not a competition for the prizes, but drivers can choose to have heads-up grud match races outside of the planned race. However, there's no sponsored prizes. Competition class will race heads-up only. Winners determined by volunteers at the finish line. I will tell you that at Rocky Mountain, they did have to go to like videos for a couple of them. I mean, they were literally that close down to the wire. Races are informal and intended to be fun. Anyone who takes the competition too seriously may be asked to withdraw from the race. In the event of a damaged or broken car, participant will be allowed an additional 2 minutes to complete repairs once called to the line. If they can't be completed in a timely manner, they forfeit and the race is awarded to the other car. And that's really just to keep things moving along. It's drag racing, formats, double elimination. There will be a loser's bracket to give anyone losing their first round a chance at a second round. But you lose the second and you're out. So, all right, Zombie. See you soon. Are you streaming tonight, Zombie? Uh, Zombie does stream. Creatix Brit streams. Definitely, I should probably give some people some shout outs because I don't have a mod yet to do these things for me. So I'm actually going to do like this because I want to type and look at the same time. Okay, you'll be on Polymaker stream or not? Okay. Yeah. Yep. Um, do a shout out to Creatix Brit, provide I can spell it right. Do a shout out to a Zombie Hedgehog. You guys are killing me with your long titles, and then we can do like a Pez Liz. I know she was here. I'm not sure who else is still here that streams. I know there's quite a few people out here that stream. That K2 Kevin guy, does he stream or does he just lurk at everybody else's stream? And that is a legitimate question, Kevin, because I have no idea if you've actually streamed before. Oh yeah, Westery, my sister from another mister. How can I ever forget her? Because we all know it's Mia's stream. And I've got the sticker to prove it. Really needed something to zoom, but I have a sticker that proves it that it's Mia's stream. I know Subsector was out here, so we'll give Subsector a shout out. Hopefully she was able to get her chauffeur to finally show up so that she could get a ride home. So yeah, you know, Creatix Brit is starting to do designs now, but she does cosplay. She does 3D printed props that she paints. Westery One is a maker in her own right, even though she doesn't think about it. But she's been doing some Captain America shields, and she also has a Hawkeye bow that she has built as a project supported by Polymaker using CosPLA. And the intent is that she's going to be able to actually ride one of her horses and photo shoot or film her actually shooting the bow off horseback. And it will be a 3D printed Hawkeye bow. So that'll be pretty cool. Pez Liz and Zombie, you may know them as Z and Z, as well as having their own streams now. They also are tied in pretty tightly with Polymaker, so they're on the Polymaker streams. They're on Maker Deck, the Z and Z show, their own shows. It's kind of almost like they live on Twitch, but it's kind of cool. You always have a good variety of different shows that you can catch them on. Subsector does a lot of 3D printing. She's like me. She tinkers a lot. I don't think she's done, well, no. Frankie, her Frankenstein was I'll say a revived and heavily modified printer. So pretty close to a printer build. And she's done a lot of repairs and mods to Focus and what's the other one? Paiwus. So she's doing a lot of stuff there. Yep, no apple on people's heads. Definitely not. Though she is a champion marksman with bow and arrow. I just don't know if that was off horseback or not. For those of you that are going to MRRF, you may also see at some point in time throughout the show a spontaneous soft fun dart fight breakout amongst a few of the Voron people. Just saying, because there are several of them that have put together some of those soft foam dart fun toys, so that they will be there. So you may see one of those pop off before or after hours of the show. So that might be interesting. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the show this year. This is going to be really fun. This is going to be the first time I'll have a table and sort of be tied to a table. American archer, so not from horseback. Okay, good. Gets all kinds of different when you're on a moving object shooting at potentially another moving object. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm really looking forward to the show this year. Having a table, we'll have Evil Diesel there, so we'll be able to both run around the show and take turns running around and seeing tables while the other one's watching the table. My son may also be there. He lives in Goshen, so the last 2 years I've stayed at his apartment. He used to live in an apartment that was literally like 5 minutes away from the venue. Um, so I would go out the weekend before, spend the whole week with him because I can work from home, and then spend the weekend at the show. This year is a little bit different with me bringing so much stuff, and Evil Diesel coming with me, and he had moved further out. So we got the hotel. Um, for those of you that got caught up in the Quality Inn debacle, are they still closed down? For I believe there was code violations that closed them down, and the fire marshal actually locked the front doors. I don't think they've got anything repaired. My son said he wasn't aware that they were closed down, but he said the parking lot was a disaster area. So I will be staying at the Fairfield Inn, and I know there's a few other people that are staying at the Holiday Inn and a couple of other places, but I do know there's a bunch of people that have booked at the Quality Inn that are now trying to get unbooked and get money back and find new lodging. So hope everybody got that stuff sorted out if you got caught up in that. Yeah, that's. I didn't have a lot planned for tonight. It was good to be able to go through some of the stuff here that we have for the Top Fuel Dragster. The nice thing is you do have to cut your own rear axle, but they do provide the cut sheet for that on where you have to do some flats for your wheels and your drive gear and the overall length for your axle and stuff. That was fun. I finally had an excuse to break out my die grinder and my cutoff wheels, so that was fun. I didn't set anything on fire, didn't scorch a shirt or anything like that, so that was fun. I haven't done that since I did a welding class, so that was lots of fun. And I've got enough that I could probably go ahead and build another one, so there will probably build another one. Yes, and Westery's bringing Mia. I get to see Mia. Mia gets to see her Uncle Luke, and I'm going to buy like a case of begging strips for her so she'll stay at the table the whole time. She'll never leave. She'll look at Westery like, yeah, I got begging strips. She can go. So she can keep buying me those knockoff pepperoni things. I know she would never leave you. But I do get to see Mia. Get to see Mia and hang out with her. So folks, like I said, I didn't have a lot going on tonight. I'm starting to get excited, and I'm trying to self-temper so I don't get too excited about MRRF and everything. And I know I'm going to forget things. I'm going to try and take a little notebook with me that I can write down. Okay, here's all the crap that I forgot to bring. Here's stuff to bring for MRRF. Here's in the next shows, and over time I'll build my to-go box for shows, show and tell, things like that. Because one of the things that I had started to do before COVID, right? I had actually had planned a gathering for folks at work on a Saturday where I was going to bring some 3D printers in and talk to people, coworkers and some of their kids about 3D printing. And so that's something else that I may wind up doing here as well. Now that I've got the stream going, is also try and rekindle that, because I know there's some people at work that would be very interested in trying to get their kids a little closer and hands up stuff. In fact, he's not a direct coworker, like he doesn't work in my my part of the organization, but in January I became a people manager with Cisco networking systems. And one of the guys in that group, I'm going through a cohort of new managers to kind of help each other along of, being a manager and dealing with all the things that come with being a manager at Cisco. And one of the guys reached out to me because he bought a 3D printer for his son, and he was really into it at first, but then he had some, issues with prints not sticking and this and that. So we kind of did a WebEx call where I talked to him and his son and talked through some things. And he's working with an Ender 3, I think Pro V2, or V2 Pro or whatever. And so I was walking him and his son through some things. We've got to set up a follow-up session. But one of the things was me possibly going over and doing some like in-person hands-on stuff with them. So I may rekindle some of that. And that's one of the things that kind of kicked me into wanting to stream as well, was the desire to kind of, impart the knowledge and experience that I've gained over the last 5+ years of 3D printing, and just give back. And so far that's been the feedback that I've gotten from several of you, is my streams are informative and you like the way that I walk through doing the builds and talk through some of the troubleshooting and, tuning of a printer and stuff like that. So if there are things like that you are topics that you're interested in me covering on the stream, please go to my Discord. I'll throw the link up here for my Discord. Please go out and join the Discord server, and I'll try and add a new channel, a new channel on the Discord for stream topics. So that if there's something that you all are interested in, or a new printer that's coming out, or something like that you're all interested in, you can let me know. And if it's, a new printer coming out on the market, like a Rook kit or something like that, I'll look and see what I can do to try and get my hands on a kit that I can build on stream. Or if it's something, like the Rook, which I built on stream before kits were available, or the Bugaboo, or something like that. Hey, I dig building these things. I like building printers. I like printing with the printers. I still need to get the trad rack up and running, and I've kind of had that sitting on the side. One, because I think I'm going to put it on the 0G after we get back from MRRF. But two, it's still in a closed beta, so I can't really talk about it too much on the stream, other than I have it there, and I can start talking about whether I like it or not once I get it installed. So yeah, definitely please go out and join the Discord. Like I said, I will throw a topic stream out, or a topic channel out there, so you guys can talk to me about things that you might be interested in, whether it's a new type of printer, or a specific kit, or a specific piece of kit, like a hot end or what have you, or a new slicing technique. I'd be interested, I can dig into some of that stuff. You don't know anything about this, but you'll join? Okay, Muffin13. Well, that's great. That's how we grow the community. And even if it's like, hey, I don't know much about 3D printing, but, can you print a specific type of helmet or specific thing, or ways that you can use 3D printing in your life? Like, can you use it for things like your car? Yes. There's a gentleman out there, his name is Michael Laws. His channel's Teaching Tech on YouTube. And he's designed and printed an airbox for his rally racer, rally racer car. Chuck Hellebuck goes by Chep, C-H-E-P on YouTube. He's done several 3D prints where he made, pieces for their IKEA furniture pieces that broke, or wheels, a replacement wheel that he 3D printed for his grill. I actually printed my, one of my coworkers got a Ford Maverick, and I 3D printed several pieces that she can use in her Maverick, because it's specifically designed to have cubbies and bins and places where you can mount like purse or coat hooks and stuff like that in it. So there's all kinds of things that you can 3D print around life. There may be things that you want to design that'll be in metal, but you may want to print and check out dimensions, so you would 3D print it before you invest in subtractive manufacturing techniques like metal fabrication, right? So like if I wanted to design a new Z axis for my CNC, I may want to cut it out of wood or fabricate it in a CAD design and then 3D print the components to check all the tolerances and the fit and finish before I go in and spend the time and energy to mill stuff out of aluminum or steel to do the final product. So that's ways that you can use 3D printing as a way of helping out other things that you do, because the same 3D files that you use for additive manufacturing could potentially be used for injection molding or subtractive design. Just knowing though that there are certain design parameters that work multiple methods, and then there's other design parameters that won't, right? So something to be aware of. Hey Poondog, how are you doing tonight, my friend? Hope you're doing well. And I am not afraid to go out and learn stuff myself. Like, I haven't done a full Clipper tutorial, simply because, hey, Stephen Poole, how are you doing this evening? Because there's so many other people that have done a Clipper tutorial, right? And I would prefer to talk about the Clipper printer config file and how to set up a config for a specific printer than to just go and talk about, okay, we're going to install Raspberry Pi, or we're going to install Armbian on a Banana Pi, and then we're going to, because if you're doing a Raspberry Pi, you can install the base operating system and then use Kaya to do an install, or you can just install Mainsail OS if you want to run Mainsail, and it's all installed and it's a solid distro. Where Banana Pi or a CB1 module, I can download Big Tree Tech's Clipper build. The problem is I don't know what's in that build fully. So my preference for all of my printers that I built that use a CB1 module, I install their base OS, their minimal OS. Then I install Kaya, which is the Clipper installation updater and helper app. And I install everything on top, because that way I know what's going in it and I know it's configured the way I want it to be. things like Clipper Pad, and some of these more like Creality Cloud. I am a cybersecurity professional by trade. I did it in the military, and I've been doing it for over 20 years. If I don't build it and I don't have great documentation on how it's built so that I can recreate it, I probably won't run it. I will not run anything that runs Creality Cloud. I probably will not own a Bamboo Labs because I don't want anything that, that somebody else controls. I have cameras on my printers, but they're USB cameras attached to a host controller that I have built and I run, right? None of my printers are exposed to the internet. They're all on the local WAN only. I can't be at my family's house or at my brother's house, my mom's house, or whatever, and log in and check my printers. And I don't want that because I know myself, I would have to secure it, and I'm not going to do it, especially not something that has a heater that can be turned on remotely, right? So that's me. Everybody has their own risk tolerance level. That's just me. So yeah, and anything with tooling, yeah. I mean, it can move. It's got electronics, and it heats up. My laser is not my laser. It's either going to have a USB plugged into it, or it's going to be dongled to a laptop. My CNC mills get dongled to the laptop. Every time I want to cut something, like the straight rectangular panels, so the side, there's two sides, the back and the top, were cut on a table saw. They're straight rectangles, straight lines. The door panel, the bottom deck, the ABS for the bottom electronics cover, they all had to be machined. So I could have farmed it out, or what I did was I have a CNC. I have the DXF files. I have the CNC. I ran it myself. It was a matter of just getting it done in, I have a Shape Oco, so I use Carbide Create and Carbide Motion. I got the job set up, and then I grab my material, my laptop, and my power brick, and I go outside because I'll plug in and go ahead and cut. But my 3D printers, I will get going and I will leave the house. I will go to bed because I'm comfortable with my 3D printers. Now, a brand new one that I've just commissioned, like the 0G, it didn't print overnight. Like it didn't do an overnight job for the first week that I was pushing plastic, right? Because I need to build up trust in that machine and make sure that it's working right and get prints through it, right? Then once I have the built-in trust, then I will run long multi-day prints or jobs and leave the house and still go do things. Because I'm not going to sit here with a 4-day helmet print running and say, well, I can't leave and can't live my life because I've got a 4-day print. It's not going to happen. By the way, hey, free heathen, how you doing? Oh, damn, I'm trying to rub it in. He says he gets an ad. Apparently not. He saw it. He saw it. Yeah, I am going to take your advice. I think if I take a helmet with me to MRRF, I'm going to take this one because I just have a couple of more like accent pieces right here that I need to print for it. So there's accent caps right here and the sole patch that I need to print for it. And then this one will be good, and I can take it to MRRF. We glooped on the ears today, and then I'll probably throw some more gloop on the inside of that seam that we opened up when I put some Uggadug of clamping force on it. Okay, you're back. Okay, so I think I'll take your advice, and I may take this one to MRRF with me and just have it as a static display. We glooped the ears on, and when I was quote unquote compressing it, clamping it, I actually busted it at a seam right here. So I went ahead and added some gloop on the inside. I'm going to add some more off stream to make sure it's well glooped up there. But I just have a couple of accent pieces to print on this one, and I can take this one to the show. The downside is you see a lot of the Z banding in this one, right? You see a lot of the Z banding there. And I fixed that wobble issue. I do have some 5-minute epoxy somewhere. And I fixed that issue, but then I ran into some others because this is, so you don't see that banding issue on this print. Now I see some VFAs here, right? But since this print was done, I've completely redone the print head, and I switched from a Dragon High Flow to a Revo. That, well, when Fabrico ships it to me, I will have a 0.6 high flow nozzle and a 60 watt heater cartridge for it. So I'll be able to do my my helmets a little bit better. But this was coming out great. The issue I think I had was I was a little hot for the silk, and my retract distance was off. So over time, I was getting too bulbous of a tip, and I think I was starting to get a jam, and I'd start printing in midair because I had a jam. So, yeah. Well, I'll know though. Yeah, there's some wave in here, but I think it shows up more on this shiny chrome. That wave that you're seeing in here would not show up on a a standard, PLA like this. It's not going to show up like that. Well, this was actually at, I think, like 220 something. Maybe I may have been going up as high as 230 because I had a hardened steel nozzle on it, and I was printing kind of fast. So this is a silk PLA, Polymaker silk PLA. And like I said, I was having a similar type issue with silks on the 0G, and I had to drop the temp, and definitely the default. I was running Turtle Crawler's Orca slicer profile, and I didn't double check everything, and it had 1mm retracts. Oh, dude, it's a direct drive. So with a direct drive orbiter, if I was running a 6mm retract, it would jam on like first layer. Yeah, I'm running like 0.4 retract. And I'm switching over to where I'm not doing like Z-Hop. Yeah, so both of my 0Gs are now running Orbiter 2.0 extruders and direct drive setup. Yeah, direct drive setup. Pushing into Revo 6s. So the Revo 6 with 0.4 nozzles right now. The one behind me has a 0.4 Obsidian nozzle in it. And the one downstairs will like I said, I have a Fadus Rapido 2.0. I think it's the high flow or ultra high flow, and a Revo 0.6 high flow nozzle with the 60-watt heater cartridge coming. And that one's going to go on the one downstairs because bigger, hotter, faster for helmets. So high flow with the higher temp heater should allow me to go faster on my helmets. It's going to stay open air, so I can run helmets on it. So yeah, that's the plan. So I've been running my helmets at a 0.16 layer height, and I support my helmets a lot more than most people do. So if you look at the inside of my helmet, I'm supporting that centerpiece. A lot of people won't, and I support a lot of the inner edges as well. Yeah, I mean, you can tell probably where I support. I probably do more. Actually, I know there's more support spent than regular, but going with the organic supports and yeah, I get the I've got helmet foam to put in them, but I don't know. Like I said, I would prefer to go lower, or not lower, but slower if I can get a better finish. Because if I do decide to post-process and paint, getting the least amount of layer lines that I have to fight with and sand out later. Because even if you do build up primer, you're still, the layer, when you spray primer, it's not just going to go in the valleys. You're still going to have to sand the hell out of it. So if I can go slower and get better prints, then one, I may not need to paint, or I just do accent paint versus full up paint, or something like that. So you showed some of your painted armors, but not all of them. Yeah. Like I said, I'm working on that, Free Heathen. I'm working on it. So yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, that'll be good because like I said, I still have to print the main body of that bolter, which I probably want to get started on the Ender 5 downstairs, because that's the big one that I do my helmets on. That's the Ender 5 Plus base 0G. So that's 370 by 370 build plate, so I can print just about everything on it. I could also print it on like the 2.4, which is a 300 build size. I can't get it on this one because, well, no, 250. It might fit on the 255, and I'm talking the main body of the bolter. I'm not sure if I can get it diagonal on that one or not. Yeah, I've got a, once again, the large size Ender 5 Plus 0G setup downstairs that I've been doing all my helmets on, and that works great. I also have a Ender 3 Max downstairs, which is like a 300, I think it's 300 by 300 by 280 or so, 300-ish bed slinger. You just got to go slow because it's a bed slinger. And the larger the print gets, the more artifacts you get in it from that. Yeah, I do have a baby belt sitting over here that I need to finish putting together. Really, where I'm stuck is I need to create a custom cable for it. And then once I build the custom cable and it works, I probably want to build a second one for John Strand and send it out to him. And then I had all the parts for a version 10 baby belt, and Rob make this within the last, I think, week and a half, dropped the V11 files. So I need to go and pull those down and take a look at those to see what it would take to build that one. And I'm pretty sure that I will come away from MRRF with I'm coming away from MRRF with the 300 build plate system for the Trident that we will start building after MRRF. But I'm also going to come away with an order for a Ender 3 belt printer conversion from 3dbeltprinters.com. I think the company behind that's Adaptiva. He's based out of Central or South America, somewhere down in Central South America. Hey, Demon Speed 13, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for the follow. Yes, we've got to talk about the Blood Angels. This is the, I believe it's the Mark 8 Blood Angels helmet. So we got the ear cups on and everything. I need to do some accents up here and the soul patch. And then this one will be sort of ready. I still need to do lenses, but I think what I'm going to do is I'll have like 2 or 3 helmets ready to go, and then I'll cut lens material and install lens material on them. So, yeah. So I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Hope everybody's doing good. So Demon Speed, I believe you're kind of new here. I haven't seen you before. So we've got the like I said, the Mark 8 Space Marine helmet. This one still needs a lot of accoutrements and pieces, and the 3 pieces actually put together. But this is the Primaris helmet, which I may reprint because, like, I don't know, there's issues here that I may want to reprint this. But this is 3 pieces. There's the lower, the face shield is a piece, and then from these ear cups up is a separate piece. And of course, like I said, there will be like ear pieces. There will be the rebreather pieces. I believe there's a soul patch. There's the forehead studs. There will be pieces in the back that'll go on as well. And then the one that you may have seen other places, but this is a Space Marine Chaplain's helmet. This is printed, the base helmet's in Polymaker Bronze, PLA. All of the blue accent pieces are Xyltech Cobalt Blue. And then these pieces here are Polymaker Silk Chrome for the hose ends and the soul patch. The hoses are actual hosing. And I've got a bunch of it, so I'll be able to do the hoses for the other helmets and stuff. So this is really nice, and it's not painted, it's just 3D printed. I will probably do another one of these that I will like literally sand and potentially paint. I'm sure I'll get talked into it, but I really want to take this. There's a local gaming shop in town that does some Warhammer 40,000. So I want to take it over to there. I think they meet on Wednesday nights and show this off. But yeah, really like my helmets. I've been working on, this is a heavy Mandalorian Spartan mashup helmet from Galactic Armory. It failed twice at the same point about 2 days into the print, which is rather depressing when you're printing at like 0.16 layer height, and you wake up in the morning and you come out and it's printing in air and it's about a centimeter up. So yeah, I've got the top half sliced, and I believe they failed at the same spot. So I'm going to print the top half, try and glue it together, see how it looks. If I can't get that to line up and it looks just crappy, then I'll, well, I'm kidding. I'm going to reprint the whole thing anyhow. But yeah, I like doing those helmets. I've also got, we've got a Bad Batch Wrecker helmet. This is a one piece. This is in Polymaker. This was Sparkle Dark Red, which, believe it or not, looks brown because it looks brown. Even Polymaker admits it looks brown. It doesn't look brown when it's not, when it's just raw filament, but once you print it, for whatever reason, it comes out looking brown. And then I've got, sorry, here, I'm just trying to make sure I don't drop things. This is a Master Chief helmet that was printed by Loyal Moses that I won on his stream. And he printed it with a break here. And he filled the break in with like a gasket material, right? And the face shield, there's I think 2 or 3 pieces to the face shield that give it the mirrored look. And then it's just hot glued in. And yeah, I got to take my glasses off. All of these helmets are wearable. So, and I'll still do the Weeble Wobble because I haven't put foam padding in it. So that's the one, and this is the Sparkle Dark Blue from Polymaker. So this one was the one that I won. And this is the one that I printed. Once again, this is in the Sparkle Dark Red. And I'm working on cleaning up the seams to try and get the seam better before I join them together. But I do have like pieces printed for the front and the side vents and stuff like that. But this is a Master Chief helmet. Same thing, does fit, just needs to be glued together and get some accent pieces added to it. So yeah, we print or we build printers on this stream. We print some helmets and some other cool stuff on the stream. We do some resin printing as well. I do have Elugu Mars resin printer. as planned. We do have a Elugu Mars 2 resin printer that sits over here that we do use occasionally. I'm going to start printing some more things. I've got a few Dragon models that I downloaded that I want, or bought, paid for, downloaded, that I want to print on the resin printer. I also have, I believe it, I backed the Kickstarter for the Tiny Machines resin printer, which is like really, it's a really small resin printer. I mean, you're going to be doing like figures on it, like board game figures on it, and one at a time. But it was something that I thought was neat. It's a cool little thing to back because you can get into resin without having a lot of stuff invested. And it's another thing, kind of like the like a Rook or a Prusa Mini or an Ender 2, or what is it, the KPS 1 or whatever. It's a smaller printer, so you can get in a little less expensive. You can start printing to see, is this for me? And the problem with resin is a lot of people wind up having allergic reactions to resins, whether it's 3D printing resins or epoxy resin or polyester resins, and you won't know about it until the first time you go to do a fiberglass job or something else that requires a resin, and then all of a sudden you realize that you have an allergic reaction. So going out and spending a couple $100 on getting a full setup and then finding out you're allergic to the resin and you just have to sell it kind of sucks. So being able to get something that's small that you can try out and take with you places to kind of show off the technology is really something that's kind of neat. So Free Heathen, should I show you something that may or may not have been tagged in WIP? Because I waited till yesterday to tag that, right? I saw you on stream and I was like, oh, yes, that's right. So Evil Diesel has my Death Racer, but this is the Top Fuel Dragster. We were going over all the rules earlier. Everything's supposed to be 3D printed for it, okay? Except for, of course, the motor and the electronics that make it go burr. But we've got a servo in front for steering, and then your steering knuckles and your axle are all 3D printed. Your wheels are 3D printed PLA with TPU tires, right? Wings 3D printed as well. All of it's 3D printed in PLA. The black, well, PLA and TPU. The black parts are printed solid. It's their mixtape, which was a black last month. So it's that. And so the frame is multiple sections printed in that. And then the body is the Polymaker dark blue. And so there's like a nose panel and then a couple of other body panels, and they just slip right over. They can slip right over, so a couple of screws and you can take them off. but you can see it's got a truss structure, so it's pretty rigid. And there's 3 screws at each point, and then right in the middle between the lower 2 screws is where the body panel goes in. This is super thin, right? Just a few layers thin. And these, I didn't design this. This is designed by Scott of Edge of 3D. And it's standard, I did standard, all this was printed on the Prusa Mark IV. So it was the standard 2.0 or 0.2 layer height profile, right? The cockpit area, you've got your full roll cage. So your motor will mount here. It can move back and forth because it'll be a belted drive to a pulley in the back that'll drive your rear wheels. And I'll probably put the battery pack here and then the receiver right in front of it. So you've got a magnetic hatch to close that down. Less weight, go faster. Yep. These wheels, the cores are PLA, and then you've got an inner and outer hub. And then, yeah, I need to get a driver. Look at the texture on those. I used fuzzy skin on the TPU tires. And the TPU tires are Prylene TPU, right? And they have panels on the side to put the Polymaker logo. And, you know, Polymaker is sponsoring it. So if you show up with your dragster and you run it, you get a coupon to go and get Polymaker filament. Yeah, I will put that on afterwards so I don't drop this. It's not going to be running at the show for MRRF because I'm waiting on parts from AliExpress. So they're just not going to get here. They're due in like the 4th of July. So they're not going to get here in time. But I will have it at East Coast Rep Rap Festival, and I'll run it there. So, and what my thought process is, actually, let me put this on and bring it back up here real fast. So my thought process, because it's a blank body, is to get stickers from everybody at the show, and I'll put stickers all over the body, kind of like, you know, race sponsors. So I'm gonna put all the stickers on the body, and then I can always print off another body fairly easily for Earth, and then I'll get stickers from Earth that I'll run on the next body, and then I'll take the bodies off and maybe mount them up in the office here or the Dragon Den, and eventually, when I get the belt printer and build the belt printer, and then, you know, work with Scott and others to actually make it work reliably and very well. He's got files to do a full frame, one-piece frame, and one-piece body shell. And then I'll get that, and I'll be able to print, you know, bodies. So whenever I go to a show, whether it's here or even a local show, I can swap out bodies, and I can, you know, maybe get a logo on it for the Dragon Den and stuff. So I can make it like a Top Fuel dragster that I can put on display. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. And then my Death Racer. So if you go out on my Discord, Evil Diesel has posted pictures of my Death Racer. I guess I could bring Discord up if things will work out for me today. Do that. Let me come here. Oh, wow, he's been busy. Do that. Come over here, switch to this window. And of course, for whatever reason, it doesn't like to pick up the browser that is open. So these are our two death racers. So mine's the one with the black tracks, and it's the main frame is atomic carbon fiber PET G in stone blue. The treads are Polymaker black TPU with the accents being silk gold and whatever colors he used for the rider and the back part. His is green and orange and blue TPU. Oh yeah, my rider I believe is a silk blue, Polymaker silk blue and some other color. But yeah, those are our Gen 1 death racers that will be at the show this weekend. And of course, you need to have your Polymaker side panels so that they'll give you your coupon for filament to reimburse you for all the filament. So I just printed these up this afternoon, and this is once again the atomic PET G CF in stone blue. Yeah, stone blue with Polymaker black PET G. And so I got two of them, so I got one for each side. And for whatever reason, if you look the center texture, I think it's just I didn't have enough top layers. Because what you're seeing there is kind of like the grid pattern from the infill underneath. So I think it was just an issue. I didn't have enough top layers. But yep. And I love it. Boom. There's another plug for my Polymaker affiliate link. And then the other things that we were printing out tonight, yeah, of course. With me. The other things we were printing out tonight, Free Heathen, when we were testing out Westry One's coins. So this is one version where Mia's paw is cut out and the Westry One logo is raised, right? And this was printed out on my slice with Prusa slicer and printed on my Prusa Mini, which has the same exact setup as hers. So these files are already set up on her Prusa Mini. So when I take it to the show Thursday and set it up Friday, I'll actually start printing some more of these off for her at the show. And then this one in the dark blue is the other version where the Westry One's cut out and the paw is raised. And this was printed on the Prusa Mark IV standard 0.2 quality settings. No changes, just drop the file, slice and print. So whatever she was using to slice and print on her printer, both she wasn't getting some good top layers, so we were trying to talk her into doing ironing. And I don't think we really need to iron. I just think there was something wrong with the slice. So, but yep. So gang, I think that's what we've got. We're what, 7:45. I want to see who may be on at the moment. Teslas is on, just chatting. I definitely want to hold out because I know Big Jano is streaming tonight because he normally streams on Thursdays and he will be traveling on Thursday. So the Thursday night stream is happening tonight for Big Jano, which means it's going to be marble night tonight. So we get to go play marbles, marble racing. But yeah, it was, tonight was just going to be kind of chat and chill, wrap some things up. The printers that I'm taking are going to get shut down later today or later tonight, and I may relocate them downstairs tonight onto the kitchen table so I can start trying to get everything centralized that I'm going to have to pack in the truck for the trip Thursday. But I will be taking off Thursday morning. Me and Evil Diesel will take off and hit the road going northwest up to Goshen, Indiana. Oh, thanks, Ash. I appreciate you hanging out and lurking and listening. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I mean, to me, that's what it's all about, is hoping that I can impart some things that everybody is interested in chatting about and liking. Oh, hey, Chewy. I haven't gotten into like painting things and stuff like that. That may be somewhere where I kind of go down the road. But I definitely like printing and just using different colors to show people that you don't have to be able to paint, but you can print cool things, and they don't have to be you don't have to do an MMU. You could do some color swaps, or you could just print in multiple pieces and attach them together. Oh, not a problem, Max. Please jump in when you can. My standard stream nights are Tuesday nights. I start about 5 p.m. Eastern time because that's after I get off work. And then Saturday mornings, I kind of start the days off. So I start streaming Saturday at 10 a.m. And I could probably push back to 11 looking at my trends because we kind of start ramping up into the 11. But with it being summer, I think more people are getting up earlier and trying to start their day and doing things. So I am starting to get more and more people in at the earlier time slot as well. But I tend to go long on Saturdays because like I said, we tend to do builds, and I'm not going to be streaming this Saturday because we'll be at MRRF, and I just don't think I'll have a good enough Wi-Fi signal at the venue to be able to stream because I know there will be several other people that will be there streaming. I may do videos on my phone from MRRF, and because I'm not going to take any of my one, I just have webcams. Oh, thanks, Chewy. Thanks. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try and capture some videos and plenty of pictures while I'm there. And so I'll be doing some photo dumps up to the Discord channel and may post some stuff out on YouTube video wise of the show, and just walking around the show talking into talking in on my phone. May do some pictures and stuff on Friday before we open up for the public. once again, for MRRF, I've been in contact with Chris over at KV3D. I'm not sure if he's still hanging around in here or not. I know he was driving earlier, but I'm going to try and get close to his table at MRRF because the 0G may spend part of the show or all of the show at his table, depending on how close I can get to him, where he winds up being, because he is a major sponsor of this. Once again, this used LDO provided a set of Trident motors that I was going to try and use for the Z-axis. They weren't long enough, so it's going on the Trident build. And I got a set of LDO 2.4 motors that I used for this build. And LDO provided the Orbiter 2 and the filament sensor. Big Tree Tech provided the Manta M8B and CB1 module. And Big Tree Tech provided the UTC, the CAN bus, the Big Tree Tech EBB 36 CAN bus toolhead board, all the linear rails, the belts, the pulleys, the idlers, the SSR, and a few other things. And then I provided the rest for this particular build. And then Tensor 3D gave me some deep discounts and provided a few things gratis for the Voron 2.4 builds. So they will be getting recognition during the show for that. They will not be in attendance at the show, but I'm definitely wanting to promote them as another viable option. They're based in Colorado, but another viable option for kits and parts for printers. So. Make sure no one takes credit for your decals you all get at MRRF. Well, which decals did you provide, Ash? I don't know who all you provided decals for. I know you've been doing a lot of decals for people. I just don't know whom. But yeah. Okay, so you provided decals for Polymaker? That's good to know. Because I'm definitely looking for Polymaker decals or stickers, because I did not print Polymaker sides for my Top Fuel dragster. Instead, what I wanted to do was collect stickers from all the vendors and stuff at the show, and I'm going to place stickers all over the body shell panels so that it's kind of, that'll be my sticker wall per se from MRRF, right? And then I can just print out new body panels when I go to IRF. But this is my Top Fuel dragster. It's all the functional prints are there. I just don't have a drivetrain for it because the motor, well, one, I didn't order the motors and the transmitter stuff because I'm waiting on stuff from AliExpress, and I can get the motors at any point. But it's all 3D printed to include PLA cores for the wheels and then TPU tire treads. And I did go ahead and do fuzzy skin to get some knobbiness on the tires for traction. It does use an 8mm shaft for the axle, for the rear axle, and it rolls like butter. It'll use a 550 35 tooth motor with a 3S battery pack. But I'm debating whether I bring that and have it static display at the booth or not. It all depends on what I can get in the truck and how safe I feel about what's packed in the truck. Because the last thing I want to do is pack a bunch of stuff and then have a bunch of stuff get broken in transit and then be spending the whole show trying to repair things. So we're going to have 3. I'm thinking I can probably get a 4th printer with that being the Rook. So I'll have 4 printers in the truck, and then I'll have stuff that I'll have in plastic rolling bins that I use for all my hunting gear. I'll just throw all that out and use that to pack stuff to go in the bed of the truck. But we'll have the 2 death racers. I'm going to bring this helmet because I've been talked into it by Free Heathen to bring the Blood Angels helmet. I think what it is he's hoping that somebody's going to 5-finger discount it at the show, so he won't have to look at it, but he just doesn't know that I'll print another one. I've got like 4 spools of this metallic red, so I'll just print another one. But yeah, we'll have the death racers. We'll have various things for the table. Hey, Patrick W3D, how's it going, my friend? Thank you for coming in, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming out and joining the community. Like I said, it's been a pretty chill stream. I'm trying not to get into any major projects or tinker anymore with the printers behind me right now. Exactly. It happens, Patrick. There's so many people I know that I'm probably not following that I need to. I want to say it winds up being anywhere from a 12 to 13 hour drive, depending on where I hit traffic on the way up there. But I'm driving up out of, near the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And I'll be driving all the way into Goshen. Evil Diesel's going to meet me tomorrow, and then we'll drive in. Or not tomorrow. He's going to come over tomorrow and bring some stuff that we're going to need to and we're going to try and pre-pack some stuff in the truck tonight or tomorrow night, so that Thursday morning it's just a matter of I'll roll over, he'll throw his bag in the truck, and we'll go. And I'm thinking about a somewhat early start to the day. But I know there's a few big towns that I'll go through in West Virginia and stuff like that, that I just, if I can time it right and miss rush hour, it'll be great. If not, I'll get routed around it. Yeah, it's not that bad of a drive. I've done it the last 2 years. My son lives up in the Goshen area, so the last 2 years I've gone up and stayed with him. But since I'm bringing printers and Evil Diesel with me, and he's actually moved, he moved farther away. He used to be like 5 minutes away from the venue in some apartments right there. And so it was really easy I drive up the weekend before, work throughout the week, and then go do the show and then drive back on Sunday. With me having a table at the show this year, I just took leave. So I'll leave and drive up Thursday, spend there, set up table Friday, do the show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get torn down, packed up, have a good night's sleep, and drive back on Monday. Yeah. And then for Rocky Mountain next year, I was sitting there thinking, I may have to figure out a way of driving out there. But with Rocky Mountain, I have a different set of parameters I have to deal with because of my asthma. I made it well this year for Rocky Mountain and didn't have a problem. And I was out there for 4 days. The last time I was out there for about 5 days, and I was less than 12 hours from getting on the plane, and wound up with, they thought I had gone into sepsis. I had some major infection going on, and my asthma was triggered by it, and I spent 2 days in the hospital before I could travel back. So I work on a 4-day long weekend to get to and from Colorado. So it's better if I fly in and fly back out. So one of the thoughts may be that my wife may drive out there and take a bunch of stuff in the vehicle and drive out there. So I can have a table out there, and then I'll fly out, do the show, fly back, and then she can take her time coming back because we've got family in and around Denver and Colorado Springs. So she can stay and visit for longer than me. And then we're still planning on doing MRRF here as well, which is Bel Air, Maryland. Evil Diesel is from that area, so he's got contacts there, so we might have a place to stay that drastically reduces the cost of hotels and stuff like that. But we want to try and work on getting that nailed down sooner rather than later. I do have a good wife, let me tell you, because I went out to Rocky Mountain. Does she have a sister? No, she does not. She just has a brother. Well, I've got plenty of sisters. It's just, like Westery. I have another sister that I claim from military. My extended military family is what I will call it. But no, she does not have a sister. She has a brother. But yeah, she has put up with me. As you can see, I've got printers here right now currently. The Bugaboo, the Rook, the Ender 5 Plus that has been turned into a 0G, and an Ender 3 Max are downstairs in the dining room on both tables in the dining room. The old D-Bot that I took apart and scavenged parts from for the 0G build is in the spare bedroom on a table in there, and I'm going to break that fully down. And between that and some of the other extrusions I have downstairs in the garage, I'm going to piece together and see what else I would need to buy to build another frame for another 0G that may go to Evil Diesel, may be raffled off. Who knows? If I can figure it out and get it done in time for MRRF, maybe I will take it to MRRF and raffle it off at MRRF. Just saying, for anybody going to MRRF. One way or the other, there will be a printer of some sort that will be raffled off at MRRF. For those of you that are here and listening, that go to things like that. So, yes, I need to make room for new printer builds so that I can continue content for the stream. And yes. Good deal, Humberler John. Good deal. Yeah, definitely if you can make it to one or more of the Rep Rap festivals, then by all means do so. I don't think a trip to Smurf is in the cards this year, though next year is something I will try and also plan for so I can get all four in, but we will see. And of course, if I go to England for Smurf, I'm pretty sure my wife will want to come with me. So we will have to make it a trip. I may go to the show and then she'll be like, oh, London was great. I did this today, or what have you. We'll see. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah. So guys, it is now 8 o'clock. I am actually going to check and see if Big Jano has come online, or somebody else can check, because for whatever reason, it only gives me certain channels that I can, doesn't show me everybody that's online. Can anybody check and see if Big Jano is on? I guess I can as well. Because I do want to go ahead and head over and visit somebody, or right into somebody else. And I'm not seeing him on yet. I believe he did announce that he was going to come on at 8. So I know Pezlas is on. Babe Ross is on. A couple of other people are on. He isn't, is not, he ain't. It's a new one. He ain't. He's offline. All right. He said he was going to come online at 8, I thought. Maybe I was thinking it was 8 Eastern and he meant 8 o'clock something else. And quite honestly, I'm wearing down. I haven't had anything to eat since lunch, so I'm cruising downward here, guys. Sorry about that, but I am. I'm starting to run dry. The coffee's running out on me. So does anybody have a suggestion on who you'd like to raid into tonight? And if we happen to see Jano pop in here real fast, we'll look into him again. See Printed Visions on, but he looks to be doing something with Final Fantasy. Foxen's playing Street Fighter 6 and Heresies, doing a repair video on something. Babe Ross is doing art. She's really, really cool. If you guys never see Babe Ross. Go over to Babe Ross, Way Cool Wood. Okay, Humbler John, I'm not sure what that was about, but Guy RP. The Anchored Albatross. Terraform Terra. Well, I wasn't sure, and I wasn't sure if you were in multiple streams and that was a comment to somebody else. So, okay, so we've got Babe Ross, who's a great artist and painter. She's really, really cool. I got a couple people for that. You're cutting out. See you later. Okay, Timor. Thanks for being out here, my friend. I appreciate you coming out. And definitely stay in touch, and we will definitely see you next week because, like I said, I will not be streaming Saturday morning due to being at MRRF. So I do need to go on and cancel that out of the schedule for this Saturday. So I haven't been to Way Cool Wood. Let me kind of check him out real fast and see what he's working on. Oh, he's like whittling something, huh? In the whittle shop. Okay. Any idea what it is that he's whittling? He doesn't say what it is he's working on, and I can't necessarily tell at this stage. But he's doing some chatting. He's doing some whittling, whittling by hand. He's doing a Pokemon. Okay, cool. Part of the Craftsman's Guild? Okay. You know what? That sounds awesome. Somebody new that, will expand our maker and crafting stuff out too, because quite honestly, as I'm getting older, I'm liking to do more and more things with my hands. So I've done some welding classes. I've done a forging class here locally. Me and my wife have plenty of wood tools, and we've been doing a lot of woodworking projects for things around the house. We've made patio furniture. We've made stuff for our garden. And so just anything we can do with hands, whether it's, I've been building a plane by hand. So metalworking, woodworking, stuff like that. It's really cool. So yeah, let's jump on over and check him out. Thank you guys for turning me on to him, and definitely come with me and give him a follow when you're over there if you're not following him. And I'll definitely be following him. Oh, cool. So I didn't realize you were a streamer, Humbler John. And what is it that you stream? What kind of content do you do before we jump out of here? And I'll give you a shout out. Give a shout out to that free heathen guy, even though he doesn't like blood angels, but he's still a pretty cool dude to hang out with. And let me go ahead and get this raid started. And that was Way Cool Wood. All one string. Got that ready. Lots of tinkers, 3D printing, FDM, resin, model painting, dioramas. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I definitely need to give you a follow as well because I don't think I'm following you. So need to go ahead and do that. Woodworking and welding. Yeah, that would be pretty cool as well. Awesome. All right. So I went ahead and initiated the raid to Way Cool Wood. Please come with us for the raid. Show them some love. Give them a follow. Follows are free. Check them out if you like them. Hang out. If not, you can move on. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll talk to y'all in a week. Bye.